This episode of predictocast is sponsored in part by our wonderful Patreon supporters. If you want to support us on Patreon and get hours of bonus content every month, head over to patreon.com/predictocast. Special thanks to Alexandra,
Andrew Walker,
Daniel Ifland,
Darren Husted,
Felipe Sobrero,
Gigi Launchbog,
Jessica Lynch-Jonley,
Justin Talbot,
the Kill by Kill podcast,
Kip Reed,
the Let's Get Weirding podcast,
Roddy Gardaki podcast,
and Tyler Petty. Thank you so much for your generous support. We couldn't do it without you.
Could we not?
No, we definitely couldn't.
Oh, thank you then.
And now on to the show. Hello and welcome to a mini episode of predictocast, the podcast where we predict a movie storyline after watching only the first 10 minutes. I'm Josh, and with me as always is Skinner. Hey, Skinner.
Hey, Josh. Hey, everybody.
We are continuing on with Action August, and it's kind of a interesting thing that we have placed in front of us. The last couple of weeks, I have been watching some older kind of good bad movies with one of my roommates who hasn't seen a lot of them, and we did sort of week after week a couple of David A. Pryor movies. And if you don't know who he is, and Skinner, I don't know if you have a lot of familiarity with him or not. You're about to, but he directed a couple of great examples of 80s low budget action and slasher. So he in the action camp, he has Deadly Prey, which came out in 1987. It's basically the most dangerous game mixed with Rambo. It's incredibly low budget, incredibly silly. The main character, our hero, runs around in some little tiny jean shorts for about 80% of the movie. He kills numerous guys in numerous hilarious ways. It's so fun. It's on Amazon Prime. Watch it. It's a great time. We also watched Killer Workout, known as Aerobicide, which has some of the same cast as Deadly Prey, and it's a great, terrible 80s slasher set in an aerobic studio. Like a good 30 minutes of the runtime are just aerobics montages. Both incredibly silly, fun movies that are just a blast. And so I was like, we're doing an action movie month. We got to get a David A. Pryor movie on the show. And to pull back the curtain a bit, we're recording this basically the day before it comes out. You'll be hearing this on Monday. We're recording it on Sunday. Skinner's been moving and has been busy. And weirdly enough, the day that we are recording this is the anniversary of David A. Pryor's death. He died on August 16th, 2015. So 5 years ago today, as of this recording, yesterday, if you're listening to this on the Monday, it came out. And we just thought, wow, this lined up perfectly.
And that's why the movie we're doing is
The Final Sanction.
You actually could have said what the movie was. Rewind back to Skinner's been moving the last week. Skinner's very, very tired and was trying to remember if he had seen any prior movies. And I don't think I have, but
yeah,
I kind of wandered down that thought for a while. And then I kind of looked outside for a while. And then a dog walked by, and then I realized I was recording a podcast. And then I realized I don't think Josh has said the name of the movie.
No, I was getting there. I was building it up. But yes, we are covering The Final Sanction from 1990, starring Ted Pryor, David A. Pryor's brother, who is the aforementioned lead in Tiny Jean Shorts and Deadly Prey. Also starring Robert Zadar, the big-faced maniac from Maniac Cop and Samurai Cop and various other films that you have seen. If you watch bad movies. If you've ever watched Mystery Science Theater, you've seen Robert Zadar's giant cherubic face plastered across your screen. And I'm excited to get some David A. Pryor on the show. He is an entertaining, absolutely dependable director. If you want to watch something very silly and over the top, this guy will give you what you want.
Well, that's what we do want this month, because it is Action August, and we want to make sure that we don't do what we often do, which is pick something by its cover or by a star and then have it fall flat on its face. I'm sure the episodes that we record on them are very entertaining. However, the actual experience of watching the movie is often terribly dull. I do have a question based on what you have said.
Yes,
that I really need to know. And if you out there, listening, just talk to me. When you and me have a conversation, you can talk into the air in front of you, or you can message us at predictocast on Twitter or Gmail. Josh, my friend, we both have brothers. We are brothers, not together, but we are having brothers, so we are brothers, right?
Yes.
If you were to make a film with your brother as the star, I know you have, but make a low budget action film with your brother.
Yes,
lower budget than even what you've been doing, or bigger budget, longer runtime. You know what I mean. What would you have him wear? What kind of pants? What kind of shorts? Would you put him in shorty shorts just to amuse yourself for the entire time you're trying to do something to make money for yourself?
Honestly, I think that it's just David A. Pryor saying, my brother looks good, so I'm going to show him off. Because he does. Ted Pryor is in insane shape. There are some shots in Killer Workout because he plays a good guy in that movie, and there's some moments where he is listening to some guys who are working out, and there are just multiple close-ups of his biceps as he's doing curls, and it's insane. Like the entire screen is just full of this guy's biceps, and it's like, yeah, my brother works out and he looks good, so we're gonna show him off.
If someone looks good by today's standards, back then they were probably a fucking He-Man, right?
He's kind of He-Man like. He's a little short. He's a little on the short side, but he pulls it off. He's a good looking dude. Like, he looks the part, so that when in Deadly Prey, he's running around in the woods and picking guys up and snapping their backs over trees and like impaling guys with rods. You're like, yeah, I could see this guy doing that.
You know what? I could see my brother doing that. I'm not saying that as my brother would doing that. My brother runs a green consulting firm for helping people, and less doing that than, snapping people in half. But as you say that, all I can think of is picturing these entire same scenes that you have mentioned and all these things, but instead of the character actor you picked, that particular brother, I'm thinking like maybe a Ted Raimi doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Hey, let's swap out Ted Pryor for Ted Raimi and let's see what happens.
That is what, if I had but one button with God's power, and I could assign it one thing, I would do it, and I would switch Teds at any time, any Ted, anywhere, in any situation. I press the button, the Ted changes to the Ted that I want it to be.
Well, it's kind of like we've kind of done something similar to this before, which was when we did the Flying Turtle movie, Mel.
God damn it, I hate that movie.
When we did the Flying Turtle movie, Mel, that I'm pretty sure that wasn't that directed by John Travolta's brother?
I believe so, yes. Or he was involved in some way.
Yeah, and then John Travolta did the voice of Mel.
I don't like that movie.
Unsubstantiated rumor.
Good night.
All right, let's put aside Ted Raimi. Let's put aside Mel. What is David A. Pryor's The Final Sanction about? Because it sounds like there wasn't a sequel.
What's your first? You had to work backwards. what would be the first sanction?
Yeah.
Like,
This is actually
like
the third.
trade?
This is the third in the Sanction trilogy.
The first movie is about a blockade.
Yes.
No,
It's called
like bank.
The Sanction. And
The Sanction.
the second one is The Sanction 2, Armageddon. And then the third one is The Final Sanction.
The Final Sanction. Like, you don't write songs with the Final Sanction.
It's the Final Sanction.
Sanctions are something diplomats do. Maybe
Yeah.
this is a killer diplomat, a kilomat.
That's
A murder
that,
mat.
A kilomat is a killer laundromat.
That is a good movie that David A. Pryor could have made.
Let me look up what sanctions are. So they're a threatened penalty for disobeying a law or rule or official permission or approval for an action. So basically, if you do something, if you disobey a law, then you're threatened. So maybe whoever this final sanction is being lodged against, they have already broken all the rules. And so therefore, this is the last one.
Much like the sword man in our last movie where he had done jaywalking
That's right. And loitering.
and loitering. And you start small, you grow it as you grow with it. Is this going to be a movie where someone is enforcing that final sanction, who has the sanction has been broken, the final one, the ultimate sanction, and this person is here, okay, you've broken all the sanctions, I'm coming in, I am the sanction now, I am the punishment? Or is it somebody who is fighting against sanctions, like, say, I don't know, the leader of Iran?
I mean, I will say that I might enjoy David A. Pryor's movies, but I don't know his politics, though I doubt his brother is playing the leader of Iran.
We don't know that for sure yet. This is a prediction podcast. We go in blind. We go in blind.
Yes.
So anything is possible. What do you think, Josh? Like, guns are involved, right?
Almost certainly. I mean, he does do a lot of action movies, and it feels almost inevitable that there will be guns involved. I mean, there are guns on the poster, so I think we can assume that probably yes, there will be guns involved.
What if instead of all these sanctions we levy against North Korea for various reasons, killing their own people, nuclear ambitions, etc., we just sent in one white dude who knows karate?
Well, it looks like there might be two white dudes, because I think this is where...
Oh, that's good. That means one of them can die.
That is true. The artwork for the final sanction is pretty great. We've got Ted Pryor up front. He's wearing a leather jacket with no shirt on.
Let me press that button out to Ted Raimi.
Leather jacket, no shirt on. That seems like it would get really sweaty and smelly.
Oh, I hit the button again. Unfortunately, it was a mistake. It's Ted Cruz now.
Oh no!
I gotta hit it again. Ted Pryor. We're back. We're back on track.
Thank goodness. And Robert Zadar is standing nearby. He's wearing a bunch of bullet belts around his chest and waist. Both men are holding guns, looking very intense. There looks to be some sort of DeLorean knockoff in the background behind them. So this might take place in some sort of far-flung future, much like our last movie.
Some sort of far-flung future where a plague has taken over the country.
Yeah.
And there's sanctions against people for not wearing masks, but two powerful white men dare buck the system, dare to say that the new normal is not the normal for them.
These guys are not wearing masks, so you might be onto something.
As soon as I hit the button, it was Ted Cruz for a second. You never know what's going to happen.
The tagline too says 2 men, 1 world, 24 hours to save it. So
I would have, if there was a problem, there's some sort of sanction that's been broken or is about to be enforced, and the whole world was going to be destroyed in 24 hours. That's much quicker than these last 5 months have been. I would try to at least get 4 guys, I think. At least. Like, I know 2 is cheaper. I know it's a bargain, but I would at least 4. I gotta go with 4. bare minimum.
You don't think these two men can save the world in 24 hours?
I would have guessed not. I bet this movie is a movie based upon failure.
Well, the last sanctions didn't work. Let's try one more.
One more. I don't. How far has society fallen? Do you think in this movie? Is this a pre-apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic, currently Apopka, Florida? Is it to take place in Apopka, Florida? It's incredibly tired.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if we're being promised, potential. Oh my God, am I been moving?
I've broken you.
I think that if we're being promised some sort of annihilation event or apocalyptic event, I lost my train of thought. I forgot how I started that, where I was going. Things are going to get bad. I'll just say that.
They're going to get bad. If I think of you have 24 hours remaining. You have to save the world. And all I can think of right now for some reason is that crazy moon and Legend of Zelda's Majora's Mask coming down. Only two white guys with guns can take out this moon.
I'm going to make a bold prediction that someone will make a comment about Robert Zadar's big head.
You think so?
Well, he
plays the crazy moon that's going to crash into the planet.
He does play a character when he was in Tango and Cash a couple years prior. He does play a character named Face, and I think
a little on the nose.
Yeah, and I think they say I can't remember, but I'm almost positive they say something about him in Samurai Cop as well. And
everyone ever make any Mac Tonight jokes about him?
No, I mean he's not as angular.
That's true. What if Mac Tonight was in this movie, combining my concept of a giant moon?
Oh, it's Mac Tonight who's killing people?
He can't trust him. He's using his ad campaign as propaganda. 1990. When did the Arch Deluxe come out, Josh? Will you Google that for me on air? It's very important to the plot of this movie.
It looks like that was 96.
God damn it.
So the final sanction had already passed, which led to the release of the Arch Deluxe.
It's 1, 2, 3 right there. It's a sequence.
First sanction, final sanction, Arch Deluxe.
The world was not ready for any of these things.
That's true. One quick prediction I can make before we wrap up this mini episode is that it's going to be fun. It's going to have some action. It's probably going to be very low budget and also very dumb, but I think that we will be entertained by it.
I really hope there's a robot.
Fingers crossed. I don't know. I've seen quite a few David A. Pryor movies. Not all of them. Not nearly all of them. Just going off of his filmography, he has quite a few things that I have somehow missed. But the ones that I have seen are a lot of fun. They're very silly, and he has a good time. He knows what works, regardless of how dumb it might be. He makes movies that are pretty fun.
I'm excited for this one, and I usually am not.
Well, fingers crossed. I didn't steer you down the wrong path. But I think
this is your final chance. It's final sanction.
That's right. You'll put sanctions on me if I picked a bad movie.
No more shark movies. That's all we have to worry about.
Well, I think that's going to do it for this mini episode. Please come back, join us next week when we talk all about the final sanction and we finally get some David A. Pryor on the show. But until then, I've been Josh.
I've been Ted Skinner.
Oh, no, you hit the button one more time.
I just slipped, man. It's just a really large button. I just keep hitting it. Now it's Teddy Ruxpin.
Hi, my name is Teddy Ruxpin. Can you and I be friends?
We predict you'll join us. If you like the show, subscribe, rate, and review us over at Apple Podcasts. We're on Twitter and Instagram at predictocast, and you can find our entire back catalog at predictocast.com. Our theme music is by Kyle Sledge. Find more of his work at soundcloud.com/geistmusic. To get monthly bonus content, sign up at patreon.com/predictocast. As always, thanks for listening. What did Teddy Ruxpin say?
Whatever he wanted him to say. You can put a Wu-Tang tape in there.
Well, but didn't he have like a special like bit of words that he could say?
I like the idea that instead of catchphrase, you would say special bit of words.